Sometimes your workplace will hire some of the dumbest idiots out there, and it really makes you wonder how they got through the job interview. Today, we're showing you the crazy antics of some of these employees. Let's jump right in. 1. Hanging by a thread. Imagine being too small to walk on your own, and your mom has to hold you by the hand and guide you through the scary streets. Except you're a tiny forklift. Your mom is a massive tow truck with no rear-view mirrors, and also, she hates your guts. Someone better give this man a massive workers' comp check, because that did not look fun. And also, fire his mom. 2. Lovers at sea. Watch as the friendly old captain of this ship slowly steers his ride towards another massive vessel just resting nearby to give it a sweet little kiss. One can only wish their partner of 5 years was still this affectionate. There's only one problem: these are ships, not human beings. They're not supposed to touch, let alone kiss each other. Not a good day for the unlucky passengers hanging out on that floor. The lawyers are going to have a field day with that one. 3. Friendly ghost. We don't even know whether to laugh or to feel sorry for this one. Someone hired this overgrown toddler to do their paint job, and in typical toddler fashion, he's managed to coat his entire body in white paint while doing it. And he doesn't seem bothered by it in the least. All in a day's work, I guess. At least he got the job done and painted all the walls like he was supposed to, right? And because he's such a generous little boy, he's thrown in messy floors and a paint-splattered counter, all for free. 4. You had one job. This guy had one job, and it's something he's probably had to do 100 times a day, every day. And yet, 5. Fax, no printer. And here we have the age-old puzzle that no one can get through: the office printer. How do these things work? Rumor has it that the same scientists that made the moon landing happen are still trying to figure out how to make the printers down at NASA connect to their computers. 6. Attempt 2. Perhaps chucking them out the window helps. Does this guy know something we don't? 7. You snooze, you lose. Did this guy really think the best time for him to take a nap was while operating a forklift in a room full of massive boxes piled all the way up to the roof? That's quite an expensive nap you're taking there, sir. His boss is not going to be happy. 8. At least he tried. Now this one was just an accident waiting to happen. If you're a fan of stacking unstable and highly fragile materials like dominoes, this one's for you. And to add to the stupidity of it all, watch how this guy tries to balance this $10,000 crate on the least stable machine out there, a forklift. But it's not his fault. It's actually his boss's fault for hiring such a monkey brain and letting him work without any supervision. 9. Gas station. This couple of old-timers is nodding out from being morbidly high while at work. I mean, passing out while standing completely upright? That's got to be some kind of record. Watch as they come back to life when a customer approaches the counter as if someone's pressed the on switch. It's truly a bizarre sight, and pretty ironic, given the no alcohol sign plastered right in front of them. Guess hard drugs are all right, but booze? That's a cardinal sin that'll take you straight to jail. 10. Just let him go. This poor guy probably just wants to go home, crack open a cold one, and have a warm dinner in front of the TV with his wife and kids. There's just one problem: a coworker who just loves to chat. Watch as he very obviously tries to make a run for it, but the other guy, who just can't take a hint, stops him anyway and launches off into some nonsense. Each time the poor guy finds an opening, the desperate coworker finds a new excuse to keep the conversation going. Talk about being lonely. Did your mama not give you enough love growing up? Someone teach this guy about work-life balance, because nobody wants to spend their leisure time anywhere near the office. 11. Drunk on duty. This gas station employee is having an aneurysm trying to give this customer his change back. If you thought your friend Ashley at the high school prom after party was the most embarrassing drunk you've ever seen. Wait till you see this woman. She can't even seem to form a single sentence without slurring her speech. If you're looking to make a quick profit off of an unsuspecting cash counter employee, this is your girl, because it looks like math is nothing more than a distant preschool memory for her. 12. No one saw. This poor guy slipped on a piece of cardboard and had a not-so-graceful tumble, but at least it was in a corner and no one saw, right? No, we live in the digital age where nothing is sacred anymore, so of course we can't even have an embarrassing little fall to ourselves. Everything has to be caught on camera to be shared with the rest of the world. In this case, you saw it here first. 13. Bend over. This may be one of the most expensive work fails we've ever seen. Someone's about to get fired and blacklisted for life. 14. Long way up. Have you ever had one of those days where you're running horribly late to work and just about everything in the world seems to be slowing you down even further? Now imagine you're this guy, finally inside the office elevator, already spectacularly late and anticipating an earful from your boss. But at least you're almost at the finish line, right? Or are you? It seems no one told you that it's everyone take the same elevator all at once day at the office. Each time you think the elevator is finally ready to be on its way, there's just one more passenger wanting to get inside, and then another, and then another, and then the door opens one more time to let the janitor in, and that's when you finally lose it. Been there, done that. 15. Crash landing. This one looks like those horrifying virtual reality headset scenarios you hope you never have to encounter, but unfortunately for this guy, it's real life. At first, you're not really sure what all the fuss is about, and then you see it. There's a massive cargo ship hurtling right towards him. The captain lets such a large-scale and expensive accident happen right under his nose. The exporters down at Sheen are not going to be happy when they see this. We smell a lawsuit. 16. BRB, getting kidnapped. In yet another episode of Serious Work Meetings Gone Awry, this guy's idiot roommates decide to prank him in the middle of an important Zoom call. Watch as the poor guy thinks he's getting kidnapped, and the members of the meeting are left stunned. What do you even do in a stupid situation like this? 17. Employee of the Month. It was just another Monday at this Chevy dealership, and everyone was just doing their thing. But then, this fired ex-employee, who decided to get a little too friendly with the bottle, decided she's coming to work. She'd shown up sober that morning, but as the day went on, she apparently turned happy hour into a solo party and started arguing with her co-workers over nothing. This body cam footage shows Officers Caffroni and Barnett, who've received a call about her crazy behavior. After her boss fired her, this gal straight up refused to leave, staying glued to her desk like it was her personal throne. How drunk do you have to be to not want to leave work? When the officers got there, they tried politely suggesting she pack it up, but she wasn't having it. After a few ignored requests, they had no choice but to arrest her. Cue the yelling and her trying to squirm away like a kid who doesn't want to go to bed. She ended up earning herself charges for disturbing the peace, trespassing, and resisting without violence. Not exactly a banner day at the office. 18. She's just a girl. What you're seeing here is another girl doing what she does best, just being a girl with no care in the world. And where there's a woman just minding her own business, there's inevitably a pissed-off man who just can't take it. Her only crime, simply existing. The pink blazer didn't help her case either. 19. He's not a cat. After COVID-19 hit and remote work became the new normal, Zoom meetings quickly became the go-to solution for staying connected. But with this sudden shift to a new place of work came a slew of awkward moments and cringe-worthy fails, from people forgetting to mute themselves and accidentally airing private conversations to funny little mishaps where someone's cat strolled across the keyboard mid-presentation, there was no shortage of virtual embarrassments. But in this case, it's not a cat strolling across the keyboard. It's a cat himself. In this super serious district court meeting, there's a man who seems to have transformed himself into a cat and can't switch back. The poor guy is repeatedly telling the judges present that he's not a real cat, begging them to believe him. Don't worry, pal, I'm sure they believe you. 20. Space Invader. This sneaky man, tired of his cramped little cubicle, decides to take matters into his own hands, quite literally. Bit by bit, he starts pushing the cubicle wall, hoping no one notices, as he quietly expands his territory. Everything's going smoothly until, surprise, the makeshift wall gives in and crashes down, blowing his cover in the most dramatic way possible. And what's worse is that it falls right on top of his head. There you have it, folks. Proof that karma is real. Don't try to take what's not meant to be yours. 21. Look, Ma, no hands. This is the tale of a pilot who probably shouldn't be trusted with a toy drone, let alone a helicopter. He's flying over the sea like he's in a video game, wobbling around like he's never met a flight manual. Then, for reasons only he knows, he decides to land on the water. The helicopter's blades, in their infinite wisdom, start spinning wildly and push the whole thing underwater, turning it into a submarine. Well, a very broken submarine. Let's just say physics wasn't his strong suit. 22. Rubber band. This woman put way too much trust into a flimsy little rubber band. What was she expecting? 23. Wreck-It Ralph from accounting. Sometimes your computer stops working for a little bit and it makes you want to pull all your hair out. Everyone's felt the frustration, it's understandable. Sometimes you might even act out. But this guy here takes it just a little too far. One little glitch and he's up, slapping the computer senseless. And when that obviously doesn't work, he grabs a sledgehammer and Hulk smashes it to pieces. We think it's a bit overkill. First of all, did he even try switching it off and back on? And secondly, who keeps a sledgehammer in the office? 24. Home economics. A reminder that your economics professor is also human and goes home to a loving wife like any other normal person. No thank you. No one wants to see that. Turn it off. 25. Cold War. The absolute worst thing that can happen to you in the workplace is being assigned a seat next to someone who's always running hot when you're always running cold. It's a constant battle over whether the AC stays on or off. Watch as these two non-confrontational guys fight for dominance until one of them finally loses his cool. But was this reaction justified? Honestly, we think it was. We would probably do the same thing. 26. Small mistake, huge consequences. Here's a demonstration of why it's so important for even your everyday construction workers to learn the basic principles of physics. And it looks like someone's about to get into some serious trouble for forgetting something. 27. Can't hold it in. In this disturbing and frankly racist incident, a guy demonstrates how to meditate on television while an utterly unprofessional interviewer tries to keep herself from laughing in his face. The poor guy maintains his cool demeanor while the woman blatantly refuses to take him seriously. Who lets people like this become talk show hosts? Is the bar really that low? 28. You jump, I jump. Talk about taking two birds with one stone. This operator of this disbalanced crane really said, if I'm going down, the ship is going down with me. 29. Breaking news. And here we've got yet another TV show host who can't seem to keep it together through this apparently hilarious news segment. His colleague turns red with embarrassment as he struggles to keep a straight face. Eventually, he decides the comment is too funny to not put his job on the line and completely gives in to the giggles. For those of you wondering, no, he was not fired for this. News reporters are human too. Cut the guy some slack. 30. 99. problems. This 99-cent store manager decided it was a good day to show up blind drunk to work and freak the employees out. This old man is known to have a history of medical problems, being prone to strokes and all, so obviously the kids are freaking out. Forget the items for sale at the store. Even his health is worth less than $1 to him. So as a solution, they decide to call the cops on him. The police show up and decide to conduct a horizontal gaze nystagmus test, which is just a fancy way of saying, follow the finger. Obviously, he fails miserably, and the cops find out this guy has chugged multiple cans of beer before even driving to work. There's a lesson to learn here, kids. You may have one foot in the grave, but the party don't stop. 31. Shut up and listen. Everyone's had one of those presentations they've been so excited about, they've stayed up all night preparing their speech and making the slides. All you can think about is the applause your co-workers are going to shower you with when you finish, the standing ovation from your boss, the bonus check you will bashfully accept, and then all those dreams are shattered in an instant by that one jerk who thinks the best time to have a long phone chat with his long-distance best friend is during your presentation. And that too, without leaving the room. So what do you do in response? Jump him, of course. 32. Exposed. Sometimes it's just one of those days where you've got no energy to put on a pair of pants to sit through hours of Zoom meetings, so you decide to go without. It's not like anyone's going to see, right? The camera only displays the top half of your body, unless you make the same mistake every other idiot using Zoom does, leaving the camera on when you didn't mean to. 33. Bathroom break. In another episode of I Didn't Know My Camera Was On, this girl gets up mid-meeting and decides to show her colleagues what the inside of her bathroom looks like, and why not throw in a little something extra while she's at it. As soon as she realizes she's aired her dirty laundry out to everyone there, she shoves the camera away, and the members of the call are left reeling from secondhand embarrassment. 34. Scary first day. This bodycam footage captures a wild first day of school in Oklahoma, where a third-grade teacher named Kimberly Coates is being questioned by police after allegedly showing up super drunk. We're talking bachelorette party in Ibiza drunk. In the video, Coates awkwardly tries to deny it, but things take a turn when she blows a whopping 0.24 on the breathalyzer. She eventually admits she had a little too much fun the night before and even had some liquid courage on her way to work, but insists she didn't drink on school grounds. The school officer isn't buying it though. He's eyeing her cup of what she claims is juice and asks her to try being honest. It's wine. Coates was taken into custody but later released. No word yet on whether she'll be facing charges, but it's safe to say there isn't going to be a second first day for her. 35. Construction Jenga. Did we just watch these guys destroy an entire pre-built wall? And why not take down a massive crane while you're at it, right? 36. Side hustle. Detectives get a tip that a guy working at Treasure Coast Square Mall in Florida has turned his job at Zoomies into a very different kind of business. This 27-year-old Patrick thought it was a genius idea to sell not exactly approved items right out of the store to anyone. Yup, all ages welcome. For a couple of months, Patrick's little side hustle was going strong until the Martin County Sheriff's Office got involved. Undercover detectives casually stroll into Zoomies, chat him up, and on not one, but two occasions, they buy some from him. But on September 1st, Patrick's booming business met its unfortunate end. Turns out, selling other stuff at the mall isn't the best business model after all. 37. Building blocks. Did you know that bridges are assembled in pre-built pieces like Lego bricks? Well, don't be inviting these guys to your Lego parties anytime soon, because clearly they have no idea how to build. 38. Shortcut. This silly cleaner thought she found an ingenious cleaning hack to save time. Just do a quarter of the job and hope the boss doesn't see it. Well, we've got news for her. 39. Uneducated teacher. This teacher decides to spice things up during a lesson. In fact, she goes full-on theatrical. This video, courtesy of an offended Native American student, shows her strutting around the classroom wearing a homemade feather headdress, chanting "Sokator" like it's some ancient spell. Yep, that's right, she's using a Native American-inspired dance to teach scene, cosine, and tangent. But wait, it gets even weirder. At one point, she starts referencing a rock god and a water goddess. Who knew trigonometry involves so much spiritual guidance, right? The students were clearly amused, or perhaps confused, but the school, not so much. The teacher's been placed on leave while they figure out what just happened. And as for her future math lessons, well, I think she might need a new approach. 40. Buried alive. Talk about a rough day at work. A female foreman at a construction site in China literally had the ground pulled out from under her. But don't worry, she managed to avoid an early trip 6 feet under. CCTV footage caught the entire wild event. The foreman, dressed in a black parka but skipping the hard hat, was supervising a giant blue dump truck at a busy sand storage area. She was surrounded by 3 heavy-duty vehicles and a mountain of sand when, out of nowhere, the bulldozer behind her decided to join the party. The dozer operator, apparently oblivious, scoops up a load of sand and, surprise, the foreman along with it. But here's where it gets really good. Once the operator realized he'd scooped up a human instead of just sand, he jumps out of the cab and starts running around like a cartoon character, hopping, skipping, and panicking. He frantically tries to figure out how to get her out, all while jumping to catch glimpses of the foreman, who is still buried in the sand dumpster. The video ends without showing her, but thankfully, she was rescued and lived to tell the tale, probably with a new appreciation for hard hats. 41. Work-life balance. Remote work has made it super easy to balance real life with your work, but some might say it's made it a bit too easy. 42. Teacher vs. phone. This teacher needs to be sent to anger management immediately. The guy who continues to record the scene has some serious guts. But wait, there's a twist. Do you have any co-workers that match the description of these people? What's the dumbest thing they've ever done?